So welcome everyone. So for today's practice, if you can have, as usual with yin, if you have a bolster, that's really good to have that nearby. And of course, if you don't have a bolster, you can be inventive with whatever pillows, cushions you have. And of course, if you have a blanket. So if you happen to have a yoga belt, that's great. Or what I'm using is just a blanket or a towel, anything. And if you don't have one, it's also fine. You can manage without it. You can manage without all props, actually. So let's settle down now in a comfortable seated posture. And again, welcome to Yin Yoga. So however you feel comfortable, just settling there now. And we'll begin, as always, with the invocation. We're going to chant the mantra Om together. And we can see this mantra also as really helping to just lift the energy and tune us. So kind of beginning to tune us into our practice, tune our space, the space around us, the space inside us. So let's just start by a normal, full and deep breath. And now we'll inhale to chant Om together, deep breath into the belly. Sahana bhavatu, sahano bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu, ma vidvishavahai. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So let's just sit quietly for a moment, closing the eyes. Closing off the seeing eyes to the outside world as we now look within. Just meeting yourself in this moment. Just simply showing up without judgment. And we'll practice a little breathing, practice of a very soft ujjayi breath. So as we breathe in, just feel that the breath is moving through the throat. And breathe out, long exhalation through the nose. Pausing at the end of the exhalation, then inhale. The Ujjayi breath through the throat. As long as you can, pause at the end of the inhalation and then you exhale softly through the nose. So let's just check in as well, be aware, am I really constricting my throat? So we're making the sound of the ocean or the wind, the leaves rustling in the wind as you breathe in. As you breathe out, it's just a soft, long exhalation. So sometimes we really try too hard and we end up tensing up the breath, which actually will cause a little disturbance rather than settle us into the rest and digest part of our nervous system. So let's just really check that the breath is smooth, is steady, is flowing, and is deep and full. Continue just for another minute or so, inhaling Ujjayi breath through the throat. Exhaling a full and long breath out through the nose. Feeling the pause at the end of inhalation and exhalation. The ebb and flow. Breath is just like the waves rolling in and out. And just the last couple of breaths now. Becoming then at the end of your next breath out, let your breath now just fall back to normal. Just simply witnessing the rising and falling of the breath in its own rhythm. And now we'll softly open the eyes and roll the shoulders. Just have a little roll of the shoulders, circle them up and back and down. And then roll them the other way. Oops. Now relaxing your shoulders. And we'll have a little neck roll. So we're dropping the chin towards the chest and just let your head hang. And slowly rolling your head towards the right side, the right ear towards the right shoulder. So try not to throw your head around. Okay, just really slowly, as if you're moving your head through sticky honey. Just slowly roll. And then rolling the left ear to the left shoulder to feel this really nicely stretching into the neck. If you have, are there any neck issues, then please make me aware of that. Or just if you do have, then it's best you don't drop your head back. Just have half circles with the head forward and then continue until your chin meets the chest, and then you'll change the direction. Also let the weight of the head slowly move. And how's the breath now? So this beautifully pulling on the spinal cord and directly affecting the brain. So wherever you are, just have one more circle, avoiding being too quick or jerky in your movements. And then you'll slowly just arrive back at the center. Just keep your chin into chest when you arrive there. Let your head hang. Just feel a stretch into the back of the neck. And then breathing the head up. Just lift the chin up, so a little stretch into the throat. Just a couple more breaths, holding there. And then release, come back, bringing the head back to the center. All right, so now we'll come into Gomukhasana legs. Okay, so sitting either on some height, a cushion, a brick, a block, whatever you have, and bringing the feet out to the side. So if this really feels too strong, you could either modify by sitting in cross legs, or you could have your lower legs straight and just one leg in a Gomukhasana. Okay, so let's begin. Have both buttocks on the floor or on your support. And then settling down. Let your buttocks really weight down now. Let the hips sink down. Let them soften down. Let the legs become heavy. And now from here, we'll have the additional stretch now for the neck again into the shoulder. So just bring your right hand behind you and the left hand to the side. And you can just allow your head to hang. So you're going to come into that Goldilocks position. So that meaning like the three bears porridge, not too hot, not too cold. You want it just right. So move your head to a position where it's not feeling really, there's no pain. It just feels like you're getting a nice stretch across the shoulder into the neck. So that could be a different position for everyone. You could be looking up, you could be looking down, you could be looking straight forward. Only you can feel that. So find that place and just pause and stay here. And then slowly lift the head up. Come back to the center. So you're going to release that right arm. Bend your left arm and then bring that right arm straight through the left arm. So you're going half Gomukhasana, your left Garudasana arm, sorry. Your left arm is bent, your right arm is straight and hooked into the left bent arm. So you're getting a beautiful stretch there across the shoulder. So there's very slight yang action here in the left arm holding the right one up, but just become soft in that right arm. Let's try not to push anything too hard and settle into the breath now for a few more breaths. Allowing the legs to become heavy, allowing the pelvis, the hips, the buttocks to sink down into the floor. Let go there. Can you soften there more and more? Soft belly breath. And then releasing, letting go. Just let your arms flow out. Just release however it feels nice for you. And then we'll have just one more minute now. And if it feels good, you could fold forward. You could lean your elbows forward into your legs or be on your forearms, wherever you feel your happy place. Just settle there. You could let your head hang. Just here for a minute. Okay, and then already minutes finished. We come back up, ease your way back up, bringing the hands behind you. So lean back into the hands and then just stretch your legs out. Try to remember which leg you had underneath. Roll the legs out. Then you're getting ready to change for the other side. So change and switch your legs. Both buttocks onto the floor, soles of the feet up. So settling down into your Gomukhasana. And now the left arm comes behind the back. So maybe the palm comes up higher up between the shoulder blades. The right hand supporting you. And then now you'll find that just right position for your neck, your head. Stretching into the side of the neck, the shoulder, the buttocks becoming heavy into the floor. And the breath smooth and flowing, just softening here. Also the face becomes soft in your face. Last couple of breaths. And then slowly come back to the center. So you're just bringing your right arm up into the center, releasing that left arm. Just release, and then you'll hook that left arm. Your right arm is slightly moving out to the side. So you're stretching. Well, let's say not stretching. You want to really relax your muscles. You want to stress the tissues on the left side, the shoulder, into the upper back. And then we can let the arms go. Just roll the shoulders out now for a minute more. You can fold forward or lean into the legs. You can just let your head hang. So the target area here is across the buttocks, into the hips. Soften more and more. Great. And then let's come back up. Slowly lean back into your hands and stretch your legs out. Then you can just lean back, roll the feet from side to side. So you have the legs bent for a little while, so just keeping them out straight for a moment. And then we're getting ready to lie down onto our back. So if you do have your blanket or your belt, now is a good time to catch it and just bring it beside you so you have it nearby. And so lie onto the back. We'll begin bending the knees and just lengthen your back. So become nice and long into your back. Then we'll bend the right knee in towards the chest. So here there's a slight yang action in the arms, in that they're very slightly pulling your chest, your thigh towards your leg, towards your chest. But we want to really soften into the leg, into the foot, into the hip. And just really feel your pelvis heavy into the floor. You might enjoy a little circle on the foot. And in the opposite way. A squeeze of the toes like you're clencing a fist. Squeeze your foot. Spread your toes and softening the foot. Try not to do anything now, but just allow the leg to become heavy. Allow it to sink a little more into the belly. Allow that pelvis to drop down. Allow the hip to release. And now we're going to take the belt or your blanket or your towel, whatever you're using as a belt, if you have one. And place it across the foot. And now you're going to straighten up the leg. So for the person with sciatica, here you should definitely keep a little soft bend into the knee. Try not to push anything. And for everyone, remember, we want to relax the muscles here. So we might have the conditioned practice of our yang practice to really engage the legs. So let's not do that. Just keep the leg upright. Maybe even closing the eyes. Allow the hip to release down. And you might enjoy also the left leg out straight. That's also another possibility. So there's some slight action in your hands as they're holding the strap or the belt. And of course, if you don't have one, you could also just hold on to the back of your leg. Soft flowing breath. Holding for time. Meeting that edge, so finding the personal edge that you have there. So just not actively engaging the muscles, but if you're not feeling anything, you could slightly bring the leg a little closer towards you. This targets also the back of the leg. And the meridians running along the leg, the energy lines. So just feel that, meet that target area, meet that positive stress in the tissues. But relax the muscles. No stress in the joints, in the knee, the ankle, or the wrists. And if you're feeling it, you're doing it. So remember, if suddenly you don't feel anything, then just slightly adjust. So you do. Last few breaths. Okay, that's our that's our time to release. So let the leg come down. keep your strap beside you. And now feeling that energy circulating, the aliveness now in your right leg. So let's bend the left leg now, interlock the fingers onto the shin, and you can decide whether your left leg stays straight or maybe you're going to bend the knee, allowing that thigh to fall heavily in towards the belly. And maybe you want to circle the foot and the other way. And have a squeeze of the foot and spread the toes. And then relax your foot. So remember, heavy pelvis. The hip is releasing, the hip is releasing. Just let that soften. Let the leg soften, the foot, the belly. You want cool and quiet muscles. And then placing your strap, your support now on your left foot. Placing the support. And then we'll straighten up the left leg. And we'll be here for just 3 minutes. Let your arms, also they can relax on the floor, the upper arms, so they don't need to work too hard. Again, how are you feeling it now? Do you need to adjust? Has your edge moved? Is the breath soft and flowing? Are the legs relaxed? Are the muscles relaxing? That's the last minute, letting the buttocks become heavy, letting the hip release down. Just let it soften down. Meeting the resistance. Softening into it. Last few breaths. Okay, and then we can release the leg down. Release the leg down. And then hugging your knees up into the chest. Let's have a little circle on the back. Great. And then if you have a cushion beside you, so once again, we're going to take up, you can bend the knees and you're going to take the right leg up with your belt. And then we'll stretch the left leg to the side. I'm going to move that right leg out to the side. So if you're Happy holding the belt, you could do that and just let your leg hang there in the air. Or if you have a cushion, then you could place your foot on that, or a bolster. Otherwise, anything, you could support the leg onto that, even onto the wall. If you're close to the wall, you could have your left leg either straight or bent. And just opening your right leg out to the side. Yeah. So the leg, the foot, we almost imagine it's coming up to the shoulder. Yeah. You weigh your target area. So you want to feel that stress point across the inner groin, the inner thigh, the inner leg, the hip. Once again, with the sciatica, you take care here. It's better if you can support the leg and have a soft bend in the knee. That's less than a minute. Softening into the hip, into the leg. Dropping into the breath. Ocean breath. Rolling in and out. And the last couple of waves of breath. And then come up. So slowly bring the leg up. Really sit down. Feel again now the energy, the circulation of energy on the right side. Then go ahead and let's begin on the left when you're ready. Bending the left leg, straighten up the leg. Just move your right arm to the side for some support. And then ease that left leg to the left side. And using your support if you are. Even if you've got a sofa beside you, you could prop the leg on that. Soften into it. Breathe. Yeah, lovely. Always having attention in the posture. Is it helping? Or if you have, for example, a back problem or any problem in the body, if you feel pain, then it's not helping. So then it's a time when we need to have the inner intelligence to know, let me adjust this or change. Every day is different. Every day the body might feel different. We're an organic being, forever changing. So our practice changing, our practice is different every time. So let's be in the now to really experience that. Last couple of breaths. When you're ready, let's bring the leg up. Beautiful, and release. Straighten out the legs first. And then we'll draw the knees up into the chest. Little hug of the knees into the chest, and maybe a rock on the back. Again, just let your legs be heavy. Your arms are a little bit more active by pulling your thighs in. And then we'll come into center for happy baby. So you're bending the knees and then taking hold of your feet. So you can hold the outer foot or in from inside if that feels better for you. So remember, your knees are nice and wide, as if your knees are coming under your arms. And as you have your belt nearby or your blanket, you could also use that across the feet. That might also feel like it's giving you some good support there. Your feet nice and wide on that, and then you can just hold on to it, your blanket or your belt. And again, can we let the pelvis become heavy? The hips, the groins. And we soften into the legs. And imagine someone's just placing some sandbags onto the back of the thighs there. And you just let the legs become heavier, become softer. And then when we find that point of resistance, then be resolved to be still there. Just another 4 minutes here. Happy baby. So I'm going to leave you now silently to be with your awareness, to observe either the sensation or the breath or the feeling, and just be in the now. Less than 2 minutes. If you're feeling it, you're doing it. If you're not feeling, remember to adjust, take it a little deeper. Last couple of breaths. And we can slowly begin to release, draw the knees in, hug the knees in, and then straightening your legs out when you're ready. A couple of breaths there, maybe with knees to chest, and then you can straighten your legs out. They've been bent for some time now, so just stretch your heels away. Slide the heels away, become long in the back of the legs, and feel that arising of energy, that rebound. So once we've had some pressure points or some compression, and then we release, we can feel the dam walls have been lifted, energy rushes through. Finally, let's bring the knees up into the chest as we move into a twist now. So you're keeping the arms out to the side. Exhale as you drop both knees over to the left. So we want to keep the shoulders on the floor, and your arms could be out to the side, or maybe you have your left hand on the top of the knees just to kind of weight the knees down. You could also put a cushion under the knees or between the knees. And that right arm could be above the head, alongside the shoulder. And we want to just soften into the back now. And if anybody would prefer to feel a little bit more, you could have the top leg straight, catch it in the foot. You could also have the bottom leg bent, or also straight. Straighten it through the center of the mat. And relax again into the hips, the buttocks, the legs. Soften into the breath, let the shoulders become heavy and the legs. And the position of the head can be wherever it feels good for you. Center, could turn to the right, it could turn to the left. Feeling the rising and falling of the breath. Rhythmical breaths in and out. That's the last minute. And then let's slowly come back now to roll back to the center. Pause for a moment. Just pause for a moment to feel what arises as you release the posture. And then let's go for the other side now. So bending the knees over to the right side. And then again, remind you Just find where it feels a good place for you. So maybe both knees can just stay bent, or you'll start there. Position your arms, your head, your shoulders, melting into the floor, your legs, feet soft. Back softens. And maybe you want to straighten the top leg. Maybe you want to straighten the bottom leg. There's no competition, so just feel it for yourself. What do you need? Just half a minute now. Last couple of breaths. And when you feel ready, you can slowly ease your way back. You could again hug the knees into the chest, or maybe it feels good to straighten out the legs. Okay. All right, and then just roll to your side and come on, sit up just for a moment. Okay, you can stretch your legs out. I'm going to use that bolster in a minute, so just for now, we'll just stretch the legs out and we're just going to soften forward, not for very long. We're just going to soften the back forward, soften over the legs. Your knees don't have to be straight. They could just be really soft here. Let your head hang, let your arms hang, just surrender everything. And even nice long breath, even you could make a nice as you just hang out here. Again, could you imagine a nice bag of sand on your back? Just have that feeling of becoming heavy towards the floor. Nothing to do, just soften into the floor. And then we're going to come up, crawl your way back up. All right, so from here now, if you could just have a look at the screen. So I'm going to show you a couple of postures. We're going to move into snail, and also from what would be a shoulder stand supported. So I'm going to show you with a bolster. If you have cushions, blankets, anything that you could sort of have a little bit of height, or yoga blocks with a blanket over it. Just be a little bit inventive. And if you don't, then I will show you that as well. So if you have a bolster, you'll bring that bolster, have it lengthways, and you lift your hips and then sitting your buttocks down onto the edge of the bolster. So we'll be coming up, beginning first with the legs just up, and we'll hold this for some time. So I want to show you the next posture because we will move straight into that following this one. So you'll swing the feet over the head. Just again, you can be soft and then catch hold of your support. If you're using it, slide it up into your spine, and then that acts as a little prop. So I will remind you when we come to the snail again, but you can have your knees bent a little like you did in Happy Baby. You could soften the knees, you could have them straight, and you can also have the arms over the head. And we're going to hang out here for some time. So you could do all of this also without a prop. So if you don't have anything, that's fine. You could hold your hips and just have your feet hanging over the head. And those of you at home, your feet could sit on a sofa or something, a chair behind. All right, so let's get ready. And if you have some support, have it nearby. And then we lie down. You're going to stay here for some time. So you'll swing the feet up. And those that don't have a support, just be in a V position and you can hold on to your hips. If that feels too much, you could also have your legs at the wall. For any ladies menstruating, just have your back on the floor and your legs up the wall. And then we're going to stay here for some time. So remember, we want to find that just right position. Resolve to be still. Resist the urge to keep moving, which is the nature of the mind. The mind wants to keep us jumping from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. So can we just resolve now to be quiet? And at any point also in this position, if at any time it really does feel too strong, then you could bend your knees in towards the forehead. Or in fact, just roll out. Another 3 minutes here. So at this point, we're in legs up position. We're not quite in the snail yet. So remember, we're in the first position that I showed, so which is more like a supported shoulder stand. Your legs could be together, they could be apart, just let everything soften. So as we hold for some time, we want the body to invite us in deeper and deeper and deeper. So we soften our way in rather than the yang approach of bulldozing through to our maximum immediately. So this can be quite pushing. This could be quite ego-based as well. So let's just be in that flow of just slowly being invited in a little deeper, a little deeper, a little deeper. And remember, we can also do that in reverse. So if we suddenly at a point where we might experience pain or it feels too much, remember you can ease your way out just as much as you can ease your way in. Okay, so now we're going to first roll. If you need to, you can first roll down from this position before we move into snail. If you're feeling happy to go straight into snail from here, then you'll drop your feet over your head, bending the knees. If you are using a bolster behind you, you could slide the bolster up. I'm going to show again because everyone's not sure. And if you don't have a bolster, you don't even need to use it. So swing your feet over the head. And you could place the bolster between the shoulder blades. And your legs, just let them soften over the head. And your arms can be wherever you feel is your happy place. So you could have your arms overhead. It's a bit softer on your shoulders and your neck. Or you could have the arms, palms down on the floor, or even the hands interlocked. So a little bit more yang in the arms, but we want to be soft in the belly, in the legs. If your feet don't touch the floor, your feet could be on a wall, on a chair, on a bolster, or just hanging out there in the space as you support your hips. Now let's have more of an ujjayi breath, as there is a little bit more of a restriction here in the throat. Slow, deep and rhythmic breaths, that ocean breath, that ujjayi breath in the throat. This is really wonderful, probably one of the best stretches for the whole of the spine, especially into the cervical spine, all the way through to the lower back, through to the back of the legs, the whole back of the body, all of those energy lines, meridians there. All right, so we just have last half a minute here. And if you wish, for the last half a minute, you could bend your knees down towards your ears, as if your knees are your earrings there. So this is like the happy baby again. Oh, beautiful, everyone. Last couple of breaths. And then let's begin to ease our way down. So use your hands as a support on the floor to roll your spine. And you could bend your knees to be soft as you roll down. Bend your knees and drop your feet to the floor. Keep your feet on the floor. Let everything settle in your back. Just pausing there. And now with your feet on the floor, your knees bent, just drop your knees to one side and to the other side. So do that a couple of times. Rolling to one side and the other side. All right, and now we'll have a supported fish to conclude before our final relaxation. So if you have your blanket now, the bolster, some bolsters, if you've got a small bolster, that might be enough. You could roll your blanket, or even you could roll your yoga mat. So you want to have a nice roll to sit under the back. So this is going to go across the middle back. So you want some height there, folded blankets, whatever you may have. And say, if you don't have that, roll up your mat. You've got a squidgy pillow, sometimes that can also work. So you want that across the lower ribs there. So the center of the chest lifts up. And some bolsters are too high, but the bolster may also work. If you've got a high bolster, then you could have a pillow to support under the head. And then just have your arms alongside. So your chest is nice and elevated, lifted up. So I'll give a few options for your legs. The target area here now is really the chest. So your legs can be wherever they feel happy. You could have your knees dropped in towards each other. You could have your legs straight. Or even the soles of the feet together or cross-legged. So try not to get too many variations. They're just settle into one that feels good for your back, that feels good for your final release before we relax. Soften the belly. And feel the heart open in this restorative fish. And we'll have some counted breaths now. Again, Ujjayi breath. So you'll count as you breathe in to 4. Feel the breath moving in the throat like the sound of the ocean. Pause for 1. Exhale for 4. Through the nose. Pause for 1. Inhale for 4. So inhale 4, pause. Exhale 4, pause. And let's continue now. Just silently counting your breath, being with the ocean breath. This last half a minute. So let's have the last 2 rounds of counted breath. And then we can let the breath just drop back to its normal flow. And wherever your legs are now, let's bend the knees, bring them to knees bent, and roll over to your side. So just roll onto your side so you can pause there for a moment. And then remove the support from the floor and lie back onto your back. So we come into now relaxation. If you had a rolled blanket before, you could use that as a flatten it out as a pillow for your head, or you could use the roll to support under the knees. So make sure you're warm and cozy. And I'm going to lie down now for relaxation. So remember, after fish, if you feel like a little hug of the knees into chest before you come into your savasana, then please do that. Slide your heels away, stretch your arms, and then soften and relax everything. Withdrawing now to the inner cave of silence. Let everything soften into the floor. Feeling the bones becoming heavy. Feel the front of the body sinking to the back of the body. Feel the back of the body sinking to the earth. Feel the eyeball sinking to the back of the head. Feeling all of the skin softening. Being loose in the body. Withdrawing from all external sound. Going deeper within to the space beyond beyond the mind, beyond the body. Feeling the waters of the mind, of the breath, quiet and calm. And in this stillness, rest. Feel that inner light and bliss shining through from the core of your being, just shining and filling all of you with bliss, joy, contentment, love. All is well. Relax, relax, relax. So if you need to finish on time, then we'll go ahead and slowly bend your knees one by one, and please feel free to stay as you are if you wish. And then rolling to your side, and we come back to sit up. And when we come back to sit, let's just still stay in that inner space. You can keep the eyes closed, or just try not to distract or be in the next place just yet. We'll chant Om together to conclude our practice. And feel that we're bathing in that sound vibration. Inhale. Om. 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 Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Wish you